Well,
over to you, buddy. What's going on?
Well, Ubisoft has really given some very poor financial futures, and I know Bo can weigh on this on this one as well. But when they came out with their dump today, um, their guidance basically told the shareholders, "We're going to make less money, but in the future we might make more money." And we had to let go 1,700 people, because we're making less money. And so, like, a lot of the guidance that came out was not hopeful. It was not good. They silently or very quietly canceled the Division Heartland, which was supposed to be the multiplayer add-on to the Division, but they developed it as a separate game. So yeah, they canceled their free-to-play, like, mass on mass fighting thing, like Fortnite, or what do you call those games?
MMOR? No, it's not an MMOR.
No, the silly, like Fortnite. What are they called? They're
Shit.
silly. No, they're Rumble, like Royal
Brain
Rumble
rot?
kinds of games. Yeah, well, yeah,
Oh, right. Sorry.
yeah. And so it's just, PvP, battle royale. There you go. Thank you, Skeptical Panda. So yeah, battle royale, and it's like they've like had to cut back on projects, just like Square Enix, and obviously Microsoft's companies that they bought up that they can't operate, support, or even guide. They've had to close studios as well. But this is not good, because Ubisoft really only does one thing in a lot of different places, and they're apparently not doing it very well. So they're just giving their investors a heads up that maybe the road's not as rosy as we thought. So yeah, there it is, 1,700. But they are on the highest. They are on on the path to their highest net bookings ever. It still didn't impress investors. So yeah, not great. I like I said, when I say they're burning because they've walked away from their audience. They've decided to pursue the path of the bridge, and even though the bridge is currently on fire, because everybody knows what bridge is now, and they've set themselves up for failure. And I think you're going to start seeing investors that aren't necessarily tied to the big guys really start to pull out of a lot of these companies that are pursuing the wrong path to profitability.
Do we know what narrative consultant company worked with Ubisoft on this last game, on the Assassin's Creed one? Because they would have had a narrative consultant company, wouldn't they? One of those firms. Because surely this is now just going to go on the long list of
Sweet Baby Inc. Maybe
DEI.
My first guess would be Sweet Baby Inc. because I believe they have.
Actually,
I think they have them listed as.
That's hilarious.
Let me double check.
I'm pretty sure Sweet Baby.
Yeah, they are.
Has
They're
them
listed as clients. For Sweet Baby Inc. So yeah.
Wow.
So my guess would be, since they've also consulted on God of War and things like that, my guess would be that they're probably to blame. I'm looking to see if they list the game. They don't, but I just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, there was when I was playing God of War Ragnarok, there was a part in the game where you were like running around trying to help out this little black girl in this Norse Viking, cold landscape, and it just felt so out of place. And I was like, this is weird. Like, this just doesn't feel, this really feels like forced in there. It doesn't feel organic at all. Like, hey, we got to have a black person in here. Like, very
it's
strange.
Actually, the people have been able to source that it was Sweet Baby Inc. that was involved with this game.
Wow. Well, Bo, what do you think of this then? Ubisoft stock being down 22% in the last 12 months. That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. Any sort of precipitous fall like that is extremely alarming for any serious-minded person or senior manager. I honestly, we've talked about this sort of thing before. Can you zoom out? Can you give us 5 years? Give us the 5 years.
Well, I just thought I'd look at this because this, I think, exactly is when the trailer dropped.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
And then did that.
It's remarkable, isn't it, how quickly markets react. Ugh,
Oh,
that is
wow.
horrible. That is not something you would buy in a million years.
Yeah.
It's buy low, but it's not a good idea. That's a graph of something, a company that's dying, really.
Hit max. I'm curious to see where
yeah.
they topped out at.
Look at that.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's massively
Wow, 2018.
overvalued at that point.
Mm.
It's not. It's something. It's like a wounded animal. That's what that graph tells me. It's like a wounded beast. Yeah. If you're still holding
Can't
on
believe
to it,
that.
you might
That's
want to
so
cut your
funny.
losses. I don't know. That's a difficult call, but yeah. If any big company that's got thousands and thousands of employees have to cut something in the order of 1,700 in one tranche, again, it's like it's a wounded animal. It's like it's bleeding out. That's the sort of thing it says. It says you're at panic stations. It says you're in a sort of a critical condition, and you need to staunch the bleeding. Right? It's not good. It's not good. I wouldn't touch that stock with a barge pole.
No.
Really? Come on, really?
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb there. Really going out on a limb. Crazy take, hot takes.
Yeah, Ubisoft's literally like one of the worst gaming companies out there, only being surpassed by EA. And I don't know if you guys have heard the news on what EA's doing. Their EA is now looking at putting ads in their games.
Did see that.
Yeah. And again, man, they're just
like commercials during the loading screens, and
let them just play a game. Like, come on. What a way to age your game instantly, right? Put an advert in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
and that also
ridiculous.
speaks of your model for making money isn't working, and that you need to do something else sort of fairly drastic. I mean, the wider point is I really don't know why they keep doing it. It's a cliche now, isn't it? To the point of cliche, if you go woke, you go broke, that whole thing. But it's so true. It's such a strong cliche. I think last week or the week before, I mentioned that Dylan Mulvaney man who got involved in, what was it, Bud Light? Was it Bud Light?
Yeah, Bud Light.
And they lost like something in the order of $1 billion or something silly, or
I think it was more than $1 billion.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, it's so patently obvious. It's so clear that the vast majority of markets do not want wokeness. They don't. They're not into sort of crowbarred in Afrocentrism or like extreme expressions of homosexuality or intersexuality. The vast majority of people aren't homosexual. That it's or intersex or whatever you want to call it. It's so the market, the normal people don't want it, and I don't know why it keeps happening. How is it that Ubisoft has decided to go down this route? The only explanation really is that their senior management teams, the people that are actually making these decisions, are sort of captured ideologues, and they do not care. They just do not care if the company folds and is destroyed, loses money to the point where the whole company is destroyed. They just do not care. And that's the only thing that really explains it. That's the only thing that explains it.
Well, Lester says this: when did profit margins become a dirty word? How about making products producing profit instead of relying on investments like BlackRock, etc.? And that's one of the key things about all of this, is the big investment companies behind them. That is one of the larger parts of it for sure. It's just mental. And then T. Neal says, so when the Ubisoft CEO said, get used to not owning our games, this is what he meant, because nobody would buy them, and or there wouldn't be any because they went out of business. Tee-hee.
Could you go back to that last comment that guy put?
It's
quite interesting. When did profit margins become a dirty word? It's sort of a rhetorical question, but It's perhaps not as rhetorical as it might first seem, because people that are into wokeness, progressivism, leftism, feminism, all these things, they're nearly always hardline socialists, if not actual communists. And you joke, but they do actually think that profit margins, the profit motive, is a dirty and wrong and immoral thing. They actually do think that. So, well, there you go.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And hilariously, most of those people are insanely rich as well.
Yeah.
So work that one out.
Yeah.
At least the people that spout it online, that's for sure. Well, there you go. I think we'll shuffle on from this pretty, wide-ranging topic now.